Totally Killer is a new movie out on Prime Video this month. 35 years after the shocking murders of 3 teens, an infamous killer returns on Halloween night to claim a 4th victim. When 17-year-old Jamie comes face to face with the masked maniac, she accidentally time travels back to 1987. Forced to navigate the unfamiliar culture, Jamie teams up with her teenage mother to take down the psycho once and for all. Like I said, this movie is on Prime Video and is being distributed by MGM, which is now owned by Amazon, and it was produced by Blumhouse, in fact, Blumhouse's TV division. So yes, this is a TV movie, and it certainly does feel that way at times. It does have a bit of a cinematic feel to it, though. Like, I could see this going to theaters, but at the same time, I'm not too surprised that it's on straight to streaming. It does kind of give off the vibes of a straight to streaming movie. But nonetheless, this is a pretty good, fun, cheesy movie. It takes a lot of homage from movies like Back to the Future and Scream with its time-traveling elements and knowing all of the cliches in horror movies, being very self-aware with that. But I do think to an extent that it does work in a lot of ways. This movie kind of shits on the oversaturation of true crime podcasts, which I actually got a pretty good chuckle out of. And a lot of moments, maybe a little too many, where they take things that were maybe more accepted in the 1980s and kind of just say, hey, that's offensive. This would never fly today. There are a lot of moments where the main character, Jamie, sees something that's maybe problematic in current times, and she will directly confront someone about it, and everyone's just looking at her like she's a crazy person. But as the movie goes on, a lot of this does seem to come to light. And I'm not going to get into any spoilers, of course, but some pretty fucked stuff that goes down with these kids in the 80s and the things that they do and the things that they deem acceptable. Things like bullying and drunk driving are a pretty big topic in some parts of the movie. But at the same time, I don't really feel like a lot of this stuff really takes away from the movie. It works to an extent, but I feel like it did kind of get old. Other than that, I'd say I had a pretty good time with the rest of the movie, though. Olivia Holt is in this movie, and she plays the younger version of Jamie's mom, so if you're a 2010s Disney Channel freak like myself, I'm sure you'll get some enjoyment there. Randall Park is also in this movie, very briefly, albeit. I feel like the movie would have been a bit stronger if he had more of a presence in the movie. Unfortunately, he's not in it very much. As for the killer, his mask seems to have been inspired by Max Headroom, so another 80s thing thrown into this 80s nostalgia movie. It is a bit silly. I think it does kind of take me out of the movie at times, but at the same time, though, I don't really think it needs to be a serious thing. After all, this is a horror comedy. I feel like it might have been just a little too goofy, though. I will say, though, I wasn't exactly expecting the outcome that this movie does come to fruition, which how they reveal the killer. I'm not going to say who it is because, you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but it definitely did catch me off guard, especially with the way things went. While a lot of the characters in this movie are pretty awful people, I did think they were a bit charming at times, just not entirely. This movie can be a bit overly cheesy, and I know being cheesy is the whole vibe of this, but I don't know, I feel like it was a little too cheesy at times, and also maybe just a little too preachy, but other than that, I'd say it was a pretty good time. I'm going to give Totally Killer 3 stars. It's definitely not a bad movie by any means, but I can totally see why this was just thrown on streaming rather than getting a theatrical release. This definitely seems like a just right movie for streaming, and I respect it a lot for that. This is a pretty decent, fun horror comedy movie you can watch with your friends or something. I'm sure people will get enjoyment out of this. If you haven't seen the movie, you should watch it. Guys, thank you so much for watching my review on Totally Killer. Look forward to more reviews very soon. If you haven't checked it out yet, I just did a review on the Taylor Swift Eras Tour concert movie, and I'll have other stuff for the rest of the month coming up as well. I'm planning on reviewing the Five Nights at Freddy's movie when that comes out, another Blumhouse project, along with maybe another review or two before that. We shall see. But with that said, thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.